So, hello all. Welcome to this series where we are talking to some passionate cricket fans and trying to understand their motivation and some factors that what motivate them to follow a particular IPL team so passionately. So, in this series, today we have Aditya with us and some interesting facts about Aditya that you must know. The first is that he belongs to New Delhi, but he follows Kolkata Knight Riders. And he has been following Kolkata Knight Riders since the beginning from the 2008 season onwards. And another interesting fact about Aditya is that back then his favorite players were Sachin Tendulkar, who played for Mumbai Indians, Mike Hussey, who played for Chennai Super Kings, and Kevin Peterson, who played for Delhi and RCB. And but he still followed Kolkata Knight Riders. So that's an interesting point, and we will discuss about it in details later on. And now his favorite players from KKR are especially the young talent Shubman Gill, Pat Cummins, and the captain Ian Morgan. And from other teams, his favorite players are Josh Butler and Hardik Pandya, Rohit. So I can see a lot of favorite players from Mumbai Indians, but still his favorite franchise is KKR. So we will talk about that MI KKR rivalry also. So without any further delay, I would like to ask you the first question that being from Delhi and having a guy like Kevin Peterson as your one of your favorite players, why did you select KKR as your favorite team and started following them very passionately?
Yeah, so it all started. First of all, KKR became so KKR was the first team because of the owner first, right?
Right,
Because the first, you have like you look up to stars, right, and you become fan, right? So that's why the following with KKR was there, and uh, and I loved Delhi Daredevils back then as well because I think Delhi Devils on paper was very strong. Gautam Gambhir, Virendra Sehwag, Glenn McGrath, right?
right,
Andrew Ty was there. Andrew McNaughton, sorry.
right,
So all of them were there. But and you can expect the start as well, like the how the IPL started. Of course, the fan
yes,
base was there and everything. But McCallum 158 now, I think
yes,
just
yes,
started here. कि अब तो ये नहीं हारेगी.
right,
That kind of vibe was there. I think and they won the next match as well against taking charges in their brown shirt as well. I think they
right,
used to play that. Yeah. So that's all it began. And also Ajit Agarkar, David Hussey, and Ganguly and Ponting in same team. So
right,
it was interesting. But yes, with respect to like for example, KP was there in DD, and then the following year he went to RCB as well. Sorry, KP was in RCB
exactly, right,
when he yeah, right. And RCB was interesting, but you also know how the RCB first season began. Lest you forget the first match as well, right? They were like destroyed by KKR, and KKR has this habit of destroying RCB, which we have seen over the years as well.
right,
So yeah, and with KKR, as I said, it first began with the owner, 2000 with Shahrukh, of course, and with the way McCallum started, like ablaze the IPL, the tournament has arrived. It was kind of a statement, like the start which IPL needed,
right,
and I think yeah, and there was some movement of brilliances like Ganguly, in one or two matches had shown he still has it. Despite the fact that he's retired just a month back, right? But it was there. The first 3 years, uh, it was like very horrible. So to say,
right,
2008 we were sixth, then we were last, and 2010 as well, almost there, but because of the NRR we couldn't qualify. And 2011, actually, when you get this vibes, right? Like, uh, कि अब नहीं करना, like I don't want to support. But then they brought in Gautam Gambhir,
right,
and with Gautam Gambhir, because why he was brought because Venki Masur I think had some said somewhere, and Joy Bhattacharya as well. KKR were looking for players to prove PTP.
right,
So with what had happened with Gambhir at DD was he was the captain the third season. Okay, and he had won them 12, I think 12 matches. Sorry, 10 out of 12 matches. Sorry, 8 out of 12 matches, and they have to win the last one. They can easily qualify for the semis. But DD could not, and in the next season, DD released him. So KKR thought that Gautam Gambhir has a point to prove. Okay, Virendra Sehwag is retained, but I am released, right?
right,
And Gautam Gambhir was brought in, and what that guy did was, uh, there is a concept that came across. Ki team is bigger than anyone else. We will all play for the team. The team is bigger than any individuals or everything, right? And what just to prove that, on 5th May, I think 2012, which is called as May Day by KKR fans, or let's say Kolkata fans, right? 5th May was KKR versus Pune Warriors India, right? And Saurav Ganguly has just gone to Pune Warriors India, right?
Yes, yes,
And till then, what used to happen for like 2011 and 2012 till 5th May, uh, no KKR matches were not getting sold out. Okay,
yes,
usually you don't see at Eden, right? Because they are protesting. How can you remove Tada and everything? So that match, Pune Warriors India, Saurav Ganguly played, right? And the biggest share was reserved from him. Was reserved from him, right? But KKR did defeat Pune Warriors India that season. So 5th
yes,
May, where I think it just what do you say, trespass, right? Ki, like this is our team now, and KKR went on to win that season as well.
yes,
So then the Kolkata guys did accept, and we as fan as well, because this was our first championship as well. Shah Rukh, the owner, was banned as well for our stadium. I think all that happened in that one season,
right.
right? And so all this came across, and yeah, I've been a big KKR fan since then, and I just like fight for them wherever I can.
Right. So 2010, many things happened for KKR, and you took
Yeah,
two names. One is Gautam Gambhir, and another one is Venki Mysore. So they brought a very different kind of change in KKR and also in IPL. So as a fan, so we don't hear a lot about it right now, but at that point in time, data played a massive role in KKR's auction in
right.
2011. So can
Yes.
you tell something about that? That how did you feel when a team who was far ahead from the other franchises in IPL to use data and build a team on data, where no one thought that this team, which got Yusuf Pathan, they released players like Saurabh Ganguly, Chris Gale, a team like this will go all the way and win the season.
Yeah. So I think it all began. I think October 2010 something. Venki Mazur joined,
Right,
and in within 2 months, they I think had a partnership with a company called SAP, if I remember it correctly. And they had a partnership. From the data perspective, they wanted to see what bucket a certain kind of player falls in, right?
right,
And for example, if there is a market player like Virendra Sehwag, okay, and if he's not available, what set of players, right? For example, like David Warner kind player, if they are not available, then what are the other players they can go for, can vouch for, can look out for? So data helped them. For example, for in place of Virendra Sehwag, they thought Surya Kumar Yadav, right,
right,
can be from the data. It told them that Surya Kumar Yadav can be that player which KKR can go for. So I think KKR was the first team, I think, so to say, where they look from the data perspective for
yes,
what position can a player can be fit in, like
yes,
for what should be our middle order like, right? What should be our all rounder? I think Rant and Descote played till
right,
2011 12. Owen Morgan came in 2012, and Owen Morgan has just came in. I think 2010 he had the championship with England, and 2011 World Cup he was not selected, but Kevin Peterson got injured, like due to hernia or something, on operation. Morgan came in. He played first season in RCB. He was released, and then he was brought in by KKR. I think Trevor Bellis was the coach then. Yes. So I think I think so to say, like A.R. Shrikant, the analyst, might have a massive role as well uh, in bringing this data culture, analytics culture, where you go by the data set, what kind of cluster, a cluster of players you can see, right? You can name that
right,
cluster as a dashing batsman, then as a anchor batsman, accumulator batsman, right?
right,
And then get those players. Yeah, and then they had I think every single season since 2010, KKR had a tear away fast bowler. Not to say for the first two seasons it was Brickley, but at that
right.
time he was almost at his end, right? But then you see Morne Morkel was
Mokel.
there, right? Okay, and then Train Ball came. Umesh Yadav was Mohammad Shami was there in 2012, if I remember correctly, and then Mitchell Stark was there, but he didn't
Yes,
come to
yeah,
play, right? And this season they had last season they had Lockie Ferguson, and this season they had Pat Cummins as well. So I think data helped him to like look at look at auction from a certain perspective, like not to
Right,
go after the big names, right?
right,
For
right,
which they had committed in their first season. Let's have Ganguly, let's have Shoaib Akhtar, let's have Ricky Ponting, let's have the best coach John Buchanan. I think Mike getting the who's called as like optimizer or something, right?
right,
Who boost your confidence. He was also brought in. So the best of the business were there,
right,
but no one was sure like how they will play the T20 format as well. So I think the data, the data analytics that they did with the partnership. I think with SAP they had a partnership for over 4 years. I
right.
don't know why they didn't have posted because uh, they didn't win any IPL as well post that season. So yeah, and
Right.
Joy Bhattacharya also, uh, I think left after 2014 season. So yeah, that's I think that has helped them. Yeah.
Right, right. And another important point about KKR, and also one of the very unique points that we see about KKR, is that whenever auction happens, they have Vanki Mysore on the table, they have their coaches on the table, and especially they have their captain on the table. We don't see other
Yeah.
franchisees bringing their captain on the auction table. So how important is it to have your coaches and captain on the auction table to build a squad that can go all the way?
Uh, I think there are two sides to it. Actually, because if you see for the other teams, right, they don't bring their captain along, but they
Yes.
also are winning. For example, MIE and CSK as well. But for KKR, I think this was again brought by Gautam Gambhir. He wanted to be on the table. He wanted that play. For example, in 2012 auction, right,
Yes.
Gautam Gambhir wanted just one player, Sunil Narayan. That's it. He didn't want any player. He was there. I think he convinced SRK as well. I wanted this player only. I don't want to go for any other player. My team is complete. Because if you see the 2012 players as well, like you won't see any big names there,
Right.
uh, except for say Jack Callis, right, and Gambhir himself. But rest of the player was like Debrata Das, right, Lakshmi Ratan Shukla, right, and all these players were aided by the data that they had.
Yes.
Okay, and Gautam Gambhir wanted to build a squad around it because I think there was this assurance from the franchisee that you are going to build this team for like next 10 years, next 5 years. I think so, that's why Gautam Gambhir got involved like this. That I wanted this player, and he had this knack of like giving something important to players. For example, Rajat Bhatia was picked, right? So his job was to get like just assess the pitch and tell him firstly whether it is good to bat first or it good to bowl first, right? Then second, he asked Jack Callis uh, that after he used to get out, whenever he used to come back dugout, he will just tell them the range of score that is necessary. It's a 160 track, it's a 170 track, and
Right.
just play like that, right? So Gautam Gambhir had, and because his involvement with players was so huge, and that's why he used to come auction after auction, 2012, 2014, and he wanted Morne Morkel at any cost, right? Because he
Right.
believed he's the best fast bowler he has played. 2018 auction, uh, he was in the KKR's plan, but he wanted to accept a new challenge, right? That's why I think he contacted a DC owners first. Yeah, I want to play with Delhi, and he said a statement like, "Your home is where your heart is." Right?
Right.
And so that's why he moved to Delhi. But he was there in KKR plan. That's why. And in 2018 as well, when KKR captain TK became the captain, although he was not in KKR's plan, from what I have seen the videos, okay, he was like he had this destiny to become KKR captain. But
Right.
yes, in 2019 as well as 2020, you can see TK on the table as well.
Right.
And I think it has also has to do with the fact that DK was not there on the national duty. That's why he was available. And I think same happened with Gautam Gambhir as well post 2013.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, maybe that has played the factor. Yes.
Right. So Brandon McCullum as a player in the initial seasons, or Brandon McCullum as a coach, who do you think has done better for KKR for building that kind of brand value that KKR currently has?
As a player, I will say only the first match
Right.
because I think the rest of the season was very disappointing for him. And in the subsequent season, he was named as captain as well. I think they had this John Buchanan theory where they should have four captains. But
Yes,
eventually didn't agree to it. But yeah, McCallum was the captain, but KKR ended up at last spot, right? And then he was released, but he was again brought back in 2012, where he had contributed in few matches as well. But he was left out in the final, right?
right,
Because Balaji had injured himself and Brett Lee was included in the squad. So yeah, as a player, he has his moments, and in the season as well. Okay, so I think in the last two matches there was this point where KKR could have ended up last again. Okay,
right,
so go back to 2009 as a captain, KKR finished last, and as a coach as well, KKR might have finished last, but the way they won the last match against Rajasthan just saved them. And I think as a coach, I won't judge him for this season because I won't say this is his team. This
right,
is an extension of the team which was brought by the management in 2018. So that's
yes,
just an extension. Yeah. And now he has his team. He has a settled captain, Owen Morgan, right, who is called his best friend as well. So maybe they now know how these players are, what are their capabilities, and now they might be able to use them effectively. So this
right,
season, I hope McCallum as a head coach really turn things around for KKR.
right. So from the beginning, from the KKR's inception, we have seen that they always had a right hand, left hand opening combination where they always had a kind of aggressor in their opening role, be it Chris Gale, Brandon McCallum in the beginning, then Gautam Gambhir, Robin Athappa, and then Sunil Narayan, Chris Lynn. But now this season they have suddenly changed their strategy, and now they went with steady start, and then they have those power hitters, Dreras, Morgan, Cummins coming at the end. So as a fan, did you feel bad when you see that they have released Chrislin and they didn't find a suitable backup for him this season?
Uh, I think not bad. I would say I was thinking that they might buy him back, right? Because until I think I don't know if Tom Benton came up in the auction first or Chrisley, but they were looking
I
for an
think
opener.
Chrislin was the
Okay.
first name in the auction. Mumbai Indians.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think that's where the dynamics change, because if Tom Benton had come first, right, and no, and KKR, if KKR would have failed to pick him, then they might have gone for Chrisley. But because Chrisley had a decent season for around 300 odd run season, right? So that's why they released him. But I was not disappointed in the fact that because it was uh, the middle order that you got right from
Right,
that auction. It was world class.
yes,
Andre Russell, Owen Morgan, Dinesh Karthik, but they were not used, so to say, properly because DK used to come up the order. He can't play leg spin. The world has seen it now, right? So that's why. But yeah, and also it has also to do with the fact that Sunil Narayan.
right,
Sunil Narayan is not the Sunil of 2017 or 18 that who can just patch it. 2018 he was the MVP, but this season I think he himself doesn't have any answers to the limitation that he have against the ball that is into his body and everything, right? So that's why the KKR attacking start, so to say, has just waned off, and Shubman Gill is a kind of player who's very steady, just go to start. Rahul Tripathi tries to be aggressive, but ends up giving his wicket. Ritesh Rana, he's like he's a alternate match player. One match he will score a 80, then a duck, then
right,
a 80, then a duck. So yeah, so KKR were like hampered by the top order itself at the season, and then the middle order had to do a lot of things. Owen Morgan tried, I think, in a match against Punjab as well as in the last match against Rajasthan, he tried to take them on. And if you see right, I think I remember correctly, uh, there was this match against Punjab. I think when they met the second time. So KKR was again 10 for 3 or 12 for 3 after that horrible RCB match. But as soon as Owen Morgan came in, right, he started.
Yeah, so I'm saying I think Shubman Gill needs someone uh, l- who around him, like who can start very aggressively, so that he gets a time to settle in, and then he can like express himself as well. So yeah, I think next season, uh, I think there is a mini auction as well, right? In
Right.
February,
Right.
I'm hoping Prithvi Shaw gets released from DC. Just secretly hoping, and he comes to KKR. Shaw is a kind of a guy who can give you start, irrespective of his technical efficiency that is out there. But in white ball format and in the shortest format, I think he can be an asset. So and KKR, because Sunil Narayan is on the brink with his batting abilities, right?
Right.
So or if and there is another option that I secretly want. Kings 11 Punjab releases Glenn Maxwell, right? And here KKR will release Chris Green for sure, right? So in the auction, they can go for Maxwell, and Maxwell can settle in for Narayan. Yeah, because I think Narayan with his bowling as well, right?
Right.
This season was very below par as per his standards. So Maxwell can also give you 2 overs and he can hit you as well. But yeah, there is this very poor IPL record with respect to Maxwell, but uh, he's a kind of player who can win you 3 or 4 matches at least on his day. So yeah, I think fingers crossed the auction goes well. So yeah.
Right. Right. So KKR has really upped their social media game also with some creative hashtags this season, like "Tufan nahi tufan hai" and all. So how do you feel about these kind of hashtags that KKR has recently introduced, like KKR hai tayar and all?
I think they have to be creative now because uh, they come from a team of like big Bollywood stars, so and they have a studio, so they have to be very creative about it. But yes, I think the two Fanny Tufana was a bit surprising because KKR doesn't do that like too
Right.
often as well. So perhaps this season, and also with what has happened in Bengal as well, with the cyclone that has affected and everything. So maybe they were trying to cheer up their fans, right? Tufan, Tufan, and everything. So yeah, it was really good, like to see them like getting their fans on board, getting them interested as well. So yeah, and this was mid-season as well.
Right.
This was brought mid-season because your Dinesh Karthik had just given up the captaincy, and then this song was brought. This so to say, the exercise was brought or tag was brought. So yeah, I think to just keep the Finns interested and glued, it's a good strategy, and I think we might see more of them in the coming years as well.
Right, right. So fans usually want a lot of uncapped Indian talent coming from franchises in IPL. And Delhi has done that really well. RR has done that really well. But recently, MI also. But recently, we have seen that a whole batch of under 19 cricketers coming out from KKR and performing really well. Players like Shivam Mavi, Kamlesh Nagarkoti, and then KKR also had players like Prasidh Krishna last season, and then they also had Shuman Gill performing really well. So, how important is it to bring out young talent season after season so that fans feel more connected, especially the fans who are not from Bengal but the outside fans?
Yeah, it's extremely important. I think the young players should be there recruited in a team every season after season, or at least after every mega auction, right?
Right,
And because there is this limited quantity that is available in the domestic circuit, right? I'm saying level more than under 90,
right,
right? So to get the best players out of under 19 is very. That means your scouting team is doing a good activity, so to say, for MI, right?
right,
Like they have done over the years with Rashik. There was Bumrah as well. Hardik Pandya, I wouldn't give credit to MI because Hardik was first seen by A.R. Shrikant, the KKR analyst. So
yes,
he was like asked to come for KKR trials, but he injured his thumb. So his KKR story never happened, and then he went to MI. So yeah, scout. I think season after season, the scouting should be. I think KKR had Sanju Samson in 2011 itself, 10 or 11, if I remember correct. So season after season, you got to get your young blood in, and it keeps the players out of Bengal as well, like hooked in. ki, that there is this team, right, who is going after youngsters, trying to groom them, give them the exposure, right, and it keeps all the cricket fans around the country, right, interested. That there is this new talent is very exciting. Like for Shubman Gill, right? If you
Right.
see over the last year, everybody wants him to like come on this international stage and rock it, right?
Right.
For Kamlesh Nagakoti was an interesting pick as well, but for the first two season he couldn't play because of his injuries, and this year as well he had the stress back, I think, but he still played. So yeah, and just the only complaint with KKR is uh, uh, the way MI does it, right?
Right.
If they get that way correct, so perhaps KKR will be these young players will have a crucial role, because you see Ishan Kishan, right? The way he plays in MI. Uh, we didn't see it for Shubman Gill hasn't get kind of start. Surya Kumar Yadav was with KKR, I think, after 2012, 2013.
Right. Right.
But he was played down order, but yeah, again. So these youngsters are required. Varun Chakravarti, for example, right? Now he's like after I think he just came up through the ranks, right?
Yes.
He this season he had 20 odd wickets, and now he was selected for Australian tour as well.
Yes.
But again, he has his shoulder injury. So these young players need to come through these IPL teams, right? It keeps you interested. And also the problem with KKR, one problem is they don't have any Bengal players.
Right.
And I've seen Bengal people like very agitated over why Ishan Porel was not picked. I think he played under 19 last year.
Right.
So yeah, I think outside the and with respect to what you said, to keep the fans outside the Bengal interested, right? I think for that they need a very smarky player, a star Indian player, which KKR post Gautam Gambhir has been deprived of. Dinesh Karthik was there like after his Nindas trophy exploits, right?
Right.
I think yeah, but not since, and then DK is also in the brink since the World Cup is over. So for the fans, like outside Bengal, I think they need a star player at least, and then there is always a talent of it. Because if he performs in one or two matches, all of them are interested.
Right.
Yeah, because for Shubman Gill now everyone is interested. We can see that.
Right. So, right, since you're from Delhi, so I couldn't stop asking myself this question to you, that you look a little bit like Rishabh Pant.
Yeah. So in Bangalore, okay, currently working in Bangalore only.
Right.
So there I used to give at cricket clubs.
Right.
So there they see me right-handed Rishabh Pant only. So yeah, I was expecting from you as well.
Right, right. So talking about Delhi KKR rivalry, so one of the matches that I recall is that super over in which Kagiso Rabada clean bowled Reras. So when you see Delhi KKR matches as a KKR fan, do you support KKR or do you support Delhi?
No, I support KKR fully, and I'll just tell you a jinx thing, right?
Right.
Whatever matches I've seen of KKR and Delhi Daredevils, every time Delhi Daredevils has won, or Delhi Capitals, and this match that you said, the Super Bowl match, I was there. Uh, I think Prithvi Shaw was on 97, and me
98.
and my friend
Yes.
98,
Uh,
98, 90. Yeah.
yeah.
So me and my friend Ashish decided just to leave, because KKR had scored what 180 or 190 something after a Russell show, right? Russell and
Yes.
Karthik, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And we just decided just to leave, right? And I think we were just about to leave the gate, and we just, I think the roar had just come down a bit. So I just they were just curiosity, like what happened. So we just went back and checked. Kuldeep was bowling the last over, right? And he defended some 6 or 7 runs.
Right.
And then there was a super over, and we see Russell had hit a boundary, and then he got bowled at pin drop silence.
Right.
I mean, where we were sitting, but the rest of the stadium was cheering up, and I think KKR could have still won it, man. But I don't know why DK Robin Uthappa played like that in that over. But yeah, so that was very heartbreaking as a KKR fan. Though I was very happy for Delhi Capitals. I think Shreyas here was a new captain now.
Right.
I think sorry, this was his second season as captain. So yeah, for Delhi, for after KKR, Delhi is my team. Like
Right.
full, I support Delhi, but yeah, but whenever KKR is playing, KKR is my team.
Right. Right. So interestingly, I was also there in the stadium during that match, and I was rooting for Delhi. Okay.
Oh, yeah, great.
So yeah. So before we end this segment, so my last question to you is: if you have to make an all-time ideal 11 of KKR with a criteria of 7 Indian and 4 foreigners, then first of all, who would your 4 foreigners be, and then your 11 in that particular order? Because it's very difficult to pick 4 foreigners from this
Yeah,
KKR's all-star lineup
yeah. It is. It is. I think I'll start with Sunil Narayan.
as an opener.
Um, no, I'm just taking the four overseas, but then
Right. Right.
I
Right.
can make the lineup.
Right. Right.
So Sunil Narayan will be first overseas player. Andre Russell, I think for the impact he had, and number three is I don't know. I should go for Jack Callis or just confused. Jack Callis or Shakib because Shakib was instrumental in 2012 win as well. Okay, I'll just for the 2 overseas I'll just come later. Let's
Right.
get the line. Number
Right.
me,
Right.
Robin Uthappa,
Right.
Manish Pandey, uh, Yusuf Pathan,
Right.
Andre Russell.
Right.
I think five and the wicket keeper is also done. Right.
I guess.
And for six and seven, I think I'll go with I'll go with Shakib. Okay,
Right.
I think he balances well, and he has also performed. I think till 2015 he was there with the squad. So yeah, Shakib is there, and then I have uh, Pretty or Mone Mokal. Okay, I will go with Mone
Right.
Mokal,
Right.
and then we have our bowlers as well. So there, there I will go with uh, Indian pacers have not played a huge part in KKR's victory. Man. So okay, so I'll just say Lakshmipati Balaji
Right.
as our eighth player,
Right.
and ninth ninth can be
I think you
uh,
already have 9 players because Sunil Narayan you didn't count. So
yeah, okay. Sunil Ryan is there ninth, and 10 and 11. Okay, 10 and 11 is difficult because bowlers have not performed like exceptionally well for KKR.
right.
Uh, so for 10 and 11 bowlers, I think Ambalaji is already there. Pretty is there. Okay. Do you remember any other player? Like, I think I'm missing a spinner. But okay, Piyush Chawla as number 10,
Okay.
and 11 will be. Um,
I,
I just can't
I
recall the player.
I think you
Sorry.
have some options like Agarkar, you have Rajat Bhatia, you have Kuldeep Yadav, and someone else.
Yeah, I'm looking for pace. Umesh.
Umesh Yadav also had a great
Yeah,
one season.
once one or 2016 or 17, he
Yes.
did play. I think the famous 14 all out. He was
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Um, I think one Indian pacer is. I think is. I think Balaji have already counted. So Narayan is already a spinner. Russell is there. Monamakal is there. Balaji is there. Um, yeah, this one Indian pacer eludes this 11. But okay, I'll just go with.
Then probably you
Uh,
can go with DK as a floater.
yeah. Okay, I'll just go. DK, yes. Okay, I'll just go with DK. So my five bowling options will be Sunil Narayan, Andre Russell. Then we have Lakshmapatha Balaji, Mone Mokal.
You have
Oh, Shakib is there, right?
Shakib is
Shakib is there.
there.
Yeah.
You have
And we
Yusuf.
will play it.
Yusuf is
Yeah.
also there. Right. Right.
Yusuf, I think he had this one breakaway season, right? I think 2012. Oh no, 14, where he just smashed his SRH. Yeah. So yeah, this will be my 11.
Right. Cool. Cool. So it was great talking to you, and some of your insights were really amazing. The way you have such a great memory, the way you recalled with the dates and the years. So especially the 2011 date. So it was really amazing to see how a passionate fan you are, and I really hope that KKR has a tremendous next auction, and we'll see their next 3 years journey in a totally different way, because that's how they usually build their team for three with a 3 year plan.
Yeah, man. Fingers crossed. Like, I hope the auction goes well. Yes, and we, I think till 2015 we were the most successful team. I think along with CSK and MI. But this third title, we need to win it as soon as possible. Yeah,
Cool, cool, cool. It was great talking to you. Thanks for taking out your time and coming and sharing your views. Thank you very much.
appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yes.